maybe so it was too long of a film. Well, is this too long of a film? Man, am I going to be showing? Yes, I guess. Okay, so I go over there, and then the officers are coming one by one, telling me that my dog is dying. Now the amputation is not an option. Now it is euthanasia. And I say, no, I don't think, I don't think she's dying. I think that, I mean, it's like suddenly like a dog that lost a leg is dying. Well, it's possible that she lost a lot of blood or whatever, because anyhow, they came with reports every 2 minutes that her heart rate is slowing down and she is going to die. We need to euthanize this dog, and it is animal abuse just to let her just suffer like that. And then, so they allow me to come over there and see her, and she was totally restful. And I said, but she looks so calm. And they said, yes, because we gave her medication that is almost like morphine. So how come she appears to be dying? But anyhow, they just kept saying the dog is dying. So then went back into the reception area, and then I said, but what are you going to do, Armando? And I said, well, I want to take my dog home, and then take it to another veterinarian. And they said, well, you have to call the veterinarian right now. So why right now? Well, because that's what they wanted. I had no problem. I didn't have the phone book for the veterinarians, so they started giving me numbers to call. The first number they give me is their own number. So I go into the car, dial that number, and guess what? I'm talking to Dr. Nix, who is the guy who attacked me, and suddenly I realized that, no, I needed someone else, So they gave me the number of Dr. Wade. They gave me the number of Dr. The Galena Square veterinary, Barbara, whatever. They gave me the doc. Okay, so at that time, suddenly, Dr. Pricer, my doctor from East Dubuque, called me, but he's not in East Dubuque. He's in the suburbs of Chicago. He got the call that I needed to talk to him because my dog was shot. He says, hi, Armando. And I said, oh, doctor, I'm here. They shot my dog, and now they don't want to give my dog back. And he says, I don't understand that. And I say, can I come tomorrow? And then he says, I am not in the area. So it's like, but he says, but someone took over the practice. His name is Dr. Hazel. Call him tomorrow. I said, fine. But the police say, no, you have to call other veterinarians, because if Dr. Pricer cannot do it because he's out of town, said you have to call. So then we called Dubuque. And they gave me all these numbers. I don't get it. I mean, I dial on my phone, and my phone should indicate that all these veterinarians that they forced me to call. So I called Dubuque. 2 veterinarians in Dubuque. Nobody answers. Left the number. Nobody returned my call. So suddenly, it's like, time is passing. It's almost like 7 o'clock. And then, so I go and sit in my car. Wayne comes over here, and Wayne Moyer. And then, in a nice way, he says, Armando, the 3 veterinarians say the dog is dying. You have to allow them to put your dog down. You have to do it. I mean, this borderline is medical abuse or animal abuse if you take your dog home. And I say, Wayne, but she didn't seem to be suffering. She's in between this stage of being alive and dead. I saw her, she's just like peacefully resting there, so let me take the dog home. And they said, no, we cannot allow you to do that. And I said, so what are we going to do? And they said, well, these people have to go home. And I said, well, then I stay here with my dog. So suddenly, Salzman come in, and then I said to Salzman, listen, Salzman, if that dog dies over here, tell the vet that I will have an autopsy, because I'm not authorizing them to put any medication that will kill my dog. Please tell them that I will get an autopsy to find out why she died. Anyhow, then Wayne comes and says, Armando, they will do the euthanasia for free. Euthanasia normally, any place, it costs at least $100, $120, depending on the size of the dog or whatever. They do it for free. And I said, no, I do not want them to kill my dog. So, to make a long story short, when they realized that I was not going to allow them to kill my dog, and I could not afford the euthanasia, and I can't call so many veterinarians, so they said they have to give it to Dr. Armando. So They went and, oh, they said, now you have to sign a different kind of paper. I said, but what about the paper that I signed before? And they said, no, but you have to sign a different one now. Since I didn't know what the first one was, I didn't know what the second was. I didn't have my glasses, so I said, fine, give it to me. I signed it. So I gave, now I have to sign 2 papers. They took the papers away. And then they took a blanket and they brought my dog with a big wrapping around, you know, and a rubberized thing. And then you couldn't see the gauze. It was like a stiff thing, you know, it's almost like a baseball bat. Fine, took it home. To make a long story, these veterinarians, when I unwrapped finally the dog, the leg of my dog the next day, the wrapping was done for purpose. The officer is trying to take this out so we can finish this. The wrapping was done on purpose to create what is called gangrene on the leg. In order not to not allow the wound to breathe, they didn't clean the wound, they didn't wash the wound, they didn't disinfect the wound, they put saran wrap. The first layer of wrapping was saran wrap, and after that, tons of gauze, very tight, very, very tight. I have the unwrapping of the leg on video that shows how tight it was. It was impossible to cut. And at the end they put this rubberized thing that is very tight at the end, at the arm, and very tight at the end. I have the pictures that I would send to the officer showing how that thing is tight and it's rubberized. It's like there is no air in there. And remember, the first layer was cellophane or saran wrap. And then I say to them before they take my dog to the house, doctor, can I have some antibiotics or pain pills? You know, of course I pay for it. No. And probably this officer heard when I requested that to have, do you remember that? That I requested if they could prescribe me some medication, pain medication.
I don't recall that, no.
But I asked for, well, you know, pain medication or antibiotic. And another thing that I forgot to say is when I was at the reception area and I was talking to the different officers, I have had 4 heart attacks, and I don't think I have had a stroke, but I have probably been close to have a stroke many times, because sometimes when I get onto this enormous tension, my speech gets blurred. And so then I have to calm myself because I don't want to lose it. So let me see. I asked the vets for pain pills and they say no. Talk to me, told me. Oh yeah, they told me that many times that Willow was dying, that they told me that the heart rate was going down, that she was dying. And okay, so that is that incident. And then now the problem, that I have some problems with the officers of the city of Galena is because, okay, that's the incident. Before I left, I think I talked to Salzman, and I was, there was also the part where the officers were so insisting that, and trying to tell me by any means that I should put my dog down, and they knew that I knew Paulette, the animal control person. They said probably I will, you know, listen to her advice. So they called Paulette, the animal control person, probably about 7 o'clock, and then they got a hold of her. They asked her to talk to the veterinarians, and after she had talked to them and the veterinarians, they gave me the phone to talk to Paulette. And then Paulette told me that I should pay attention to what these 3 veterinarians were saying, that they were very good doctors, and that they knew what they were saying, that Willow was dying and I should authorize them to euthanize her. So as I was leaving and I was saying goodbye to the officers, and then I asked him why I was not arrested. You know, obviously I thought at one time or another they are going to arrest me, and he says because the Veterinary Associates had decided not to press charges. This is the first and only time that I talk to anyone about, you know, if I had done something wrong. I mean, Salzman's son, the Veterinary Associates, they said they didn't want to press charges. So then on Friday, I took my dog to Dr. Tisman in East Dubuque, not Tisman, Tisdale, and Dr. Tisdale did the amputation. It cost me $750, and probably now I have to pay $150 more, probably $900. The dog is fine. It was tough for the first couple of weeks, but she is doing fine. We unwrapped the leg. The leg was already rotting when the doctor was operating on her. It smelled bad, and so he didn't unwrap all the way down because he knew that there was already an infection going there. So he didn't see the cellophane, but I have the cellophane on video. And when I asked him about why do you think that's normal, and he says no, that is not normal. People never put saran wrap or cellophane on top of an open wound and then just tied it up. Then on Saturday I called the Veterinary Associates, and I say, and then the person who answered was Catherine Smith, and I say, and I was trying to determine who was who. If Catherine Smith had blue eyes, you know, I need to know who was who to be able to do a police report eventually. So I say, what? And why did you guys put that wrapping saran wrap at the beginning? And they say, because she was bleeding and we wanted to stop the bleeding or something like that. And we didn't talk about how tight it was, but anyhow. So, and I say, I need copies of the papers I signed. They said, we put them in the mail. Well, eventually I got them maybe last week. So it took them like 2 weeks to send them to me. I really don't know if they manipulate them or not. I haven't seen the originals, and I think that because I plan to file a lawsuit against these people, we will get the originals in the lawsuit. And another thing, okay, so then now I called on Saturday after, because Friday the 2nd was the surgery and all of that. On the 3rd, which is a Saturday, I called Lieutenant Salzman and I said that I wanted to file a report for assault and that they wanted to put my dog down by infection, because I didn't know that until that time. And then he says, Armando, you better drop this, because if you pursue this, you're going to be charged. So this is kind of a... You understand what I mean? When a cop says it's almost like a threat, yes? So don't pursue this or you will be charged, and then you are the one who's going to be loose. And then, okay, that was kind of bizarre, I just didn't say anything else. And on Monday, I called him again. And no, on Monday I was going back to Dr. Tisdale in East Dubuque when I saw Salzman parked by the road. So I turned around, went back and talked to Salzman, and then that's when I said, Mr. Salzman, I want to file charges against these people. And he said again, do not drop it or whatever. I had my camera on the car facing me that way, and I was recording me because I was talking, and so he got really upset. You're recording me? And I said, no, officer, I was not recording you, I was recording me. So, well, he gets really upset. And he just said, I'm going to call the state attorney, and he just left. I was willing to just give him the card and say, fine, you know, but no, he just left. So that's the thing. So then I called again later to see if he was going to file a report, and they say, no, the guy who is going to file a report is Sergeant Warner. And I was able to talk to Sergeant Warner, I think on Monday the 5th. And when I was talking to him, and I said, so what's going to be in your report? And then he says to me, and I say, you never talked to me about anything. I just wanted to confirm that, you know, these people never talked to me anything about that I had done something illegal. He says, no, but I'm going to recommend that you be arrested, even though that and then that was bizarre that he said something like that. What did you say to me?
I said the report would be forwarded to the state's attorney for charges.
For charges, yes?
Yes.
So it means that you were going to recommend charges?
No.
No?
No.
Oh. But charges, so how come they haven't charged me?
It's up to the state's attorney, because I guess he must have spoke with the doctors and they didn't want to press charges.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this time. It took a little longer than I expected, but you see why I needed to do a verbal report. I hope you took notice about all of this, and that you write a fair report to give to the state attorney. I would also write my report that will include the pictures of my injuries that you already have, so I want to put them in here, and then that's about it, officer.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you to you.